Hello and welcome. Little change of scenery today. It is literally 0 degrees out, or around between 5 and 0. So we're shooting inside today. Very excited to be presenting this 77 911S Targa. So it's the 2.7 liter, but if you just got a 1-second glance at this car, it kind of looks SC-esque. It's got a lot of SC parts on it, and it's a nice kind of mishmash of 911 generation parts, and obviously it's come together very well. I've loved having this car around. It is quite handsome. It hadn't been driven in quite some time. It had been stored for quite some time when we picked it up. Flat tire, not much oil in it, old gas, quite dirty, obviously. So cleaned it up, fresh gas, fresh oil, fresh rear tires. The fronts seem to be in quite good shape, and yeah, cleaned up quite well. I mean, these are just amazing cars, and you get the BBSs on it. So first things first, let's just do a walk around before we get into driving and cold start, and just get a good idea of the cosmetic condition of the car. So we'll start up front. We've got the passenger side headlight looks good, and it's your matching headlight surrounds, color matched headlight surrounds. Everything looks good there. The front bumper itself does have a decent amount of stone chipping on it, just that it's probably acquired throughout its lifetime. Down here, no scrapes on the lower lip. Definitely some road debris though, and whatnot. Clearly this car's been enjoyed. Coming around to the hood, well, before we get to the hood, nice rubber sealing here. It's in good shape. I know that'll tend to warp and whatnot. You get a little bit of bumpiness here, but otherwise in nice shape. Got your Porsche logo, nice patina to it. Unfortunately, the front half of the hood has a lot of strange paint imperfection, where it looks like the surface wasn't necessarily prepped properly, or it's really hard to tell what happened here. But it's from about here down. You get this kind of strange look with the paint. It does continue up onto the rest of the hood, but in a much less severe way, and overall present pretty well. You could probably see it here though. This is the only area of the car where you get this kind of strange paint imperfection. I really almost can't explain it, but everywhere else looks pretty good, save for a few areas. Now coming around to the driver's front quarter, headlight and surround look good. Bumper looks good, not seeing any flaws. The marker lights look good. Now for the wheel and tire. These tires are 5 years old to our knowledge. I believe there was an invoice somewhere for them that I cross-referenced, because I am horrible at interpreting whether I'm getting the right date code, but we believe these fronts are 5 years old, and nice. Thinking authentic, no reason to believe that they are not authentic BBS wheels. Look very, very handsome on this car. As for the body, we do have a little bit of paint missing here, just a tiny bit, and the paint itself is pretty good. You do have some like aging, strange imperfections, kind of like the hood up here, but not nearly as severe. There is just probably a penny-sized, dime-sized piece of paint missing there, and a small chip on the fuel door here as well. Glass, though, looks great, and so do the windshield wipers. No rock chips, crystal clear, really in quite nice shape. The ceiling, the rubber ceiling surrounding the glass is also in quite nice shape. It's clear that this car has been stored indoors, in the very least. It may not have been in a temperature-controlled, humidity-controlled environment, but definitely was stored indoors, and that goes to show. Vinyl top looks good. It does start to just not really come up, but this piping is a little bit deviated here, I guess you could say, but I'm really nitpicking. Obviously, that is the point of these videos. But yeah, I would rate the condition of the top in actually very good shape. We have washed the car a couple times. You get a couple drips and drops as far as leaks go, but nothing too substantial, honestly. Not surprising with these older Targa tops. Driver side mirror looks good. The door and the crease here look good. You have some kind of like spiderish, I don't want to say it's cracking, but like spider striations on the paint. So it shifts from that kind of weird, like abrased looking paint to good paint. It's very uniform. It's smooth to the touch. It does have these very odd, not odd, I guess it's just age. They're so insignificant it may not even come out on camera. But just figured I'd put out a disclaimer. I'll try to find an area where it's a little more severe. It really isn't on the door. But coming up the door to the glass looks great. And the sealing looks good. You've got nice flush seal here, and the door handle looks good as well. No paint missing on the door. And then you've got your paint matched Targa roll bar with your Targa insignia. Nice touch. I believe that was an extra option from factory. I think from the factory they were the base option was silver. There is a little bit of a gap in the top on the rear up here. Like I can stick my pinky in there, but I'm not seeing through the cabin. It's just a little bit of a gap. Coming around to the rear driver quarter panel, right by the door you get some larger paint chips. Like here's my pointer finger for reference. So not massive, but definitely, they're there. But otherwise you don't see the same like crazy rock chipping that you do on most 911s, just because they have this flared stance. There is a couple of like the spider line imperfections happening here. Again, not sure if they'll even come out on camera, but definitely visible here. And there is one more paint chip here as well. The rear glass is in quite nice shape. Sealing looks good. No cracking in the rubber. No fading in the glass. I know that they definitely tend to fade. We actually have a 944 over there where the rear glass around the heating elements, the heating strips, has definitely started to cloud quite a bit. So not the case on this one. Again, why I believe it's been stored indoors the majority of its life. We do have another reasonably sized piece of paint missing there. There is my index finger, my pointer finger for reference. And then you can definitely see this is probably the most severe area here for that spider lining. But again, not super severe. The rear driver's side wheel and tire look good. We've got brand new Falcons on there, and the wheel itself in nice shape. No curbing on any of the wheels on the driver's side. I mean, there's a little tiny abrasion here, but barely anything. And the lips of the rim look good. Finally, the very rear of the driver's side quarter with this whale tail spoiler. Nice grill here, added grill in back. I'm not actually sure if that ventilates at all. Doesn't seem like it does. But nice look. And yeah, coming lower, you've got single exit exhaust. And this thing sounds great. You all will enjoy the way this sounds. There is a little bit, the trim is popping here a little bit, but otherwise nothing too bad. Tail light, no cracks or anything. And yeah, so let's come around to the rear. Get your early American CT plate. And yeah, the rear looks good. There is a little bit of like discoloration in the rear light bar. And actually you get 911 SC badging again, because this definitely looks more like an SC than it does an S. I believe the SCs either had a 3.0 or a 3.2 liter flat six. So this probably performs similarly, considering it's a 2.7 with lots of modifications and hot rod parts. The whale tail spoiler itself is in good shape. It's starting to like just deviate ever so slightly here. Very slight though, and the spoiler itself looks great. Now the rear passenger side quarter also looks good. Not any paint flaws. And the spider cracking is a lot less. And again, I don't want to call it cracking because the paint is not cracked. It's like the spidering, the spidered flaws are a lot less pronounced on this side. Coming up to, okay, so this is a little loose here, this weather stripping, but honestly, probably something that glue would be suited for right there. And the glass looks great. Again, Targa bar looks great. The rear passenger side wheel and tire, again, new Falcons here. And the wheel itself looks good, no curbing, other than just a tiny little strip there, pointer finger for reference. Coming around to the door and the front of the rear passenger arch, little tiny bit of rock chipping, ever so slight, but honestly a lot better than I've seen on a lot of these cars. Again, they're super prone to chipping there, just because of the staggered stance. The door itself looks great. Door handle, glass, everything in really nice shape, actually. Same with the lower panels below the door. Everything looks good, and you've got this rubber trim line, which is in nice shape. Yeah, this door is really, really nice shape, and actually doesn't have even any of the spidering. So this is in really, really nice shape, definitely. Mirror looks good. Top of the Targa roof looks good as well. We've got the glass in nice shape on the passenger side, and also finally coming around to the front passenger quarter, a little radio antenna here. Of course, the same scenario on the hood in the center, but off to the sides and above the the lowest quarter of the hood, everything is in much better shape. It's really, again, just like from here down, that struggles as far as paint condition. Front passenger wheel and tire, again, these Dunlops have held up well. We've put some mileage on the car, and it's had no issues up front. So we've been pleased with those. And then, yeah, just the side of the quarter in good shape, really lustrous paint. And yeah, this quarter is actually really in nice shape. The passenger side of the car presents not miles better, or not significantly better, but noticeably better, for sure. So now we'll head around to the interior. In quite nice shape, actually. There's definitely some odors, potentially, of like rodent urine, possibly, but it's hard to say for sure. It definitely has some sort of odor, but the cleanliness of the interior is pretty good. There's no tears or rips in any of the surfaces. The carpeting is in pretty decent shape. I mean, there's some mild staining here and there, but nothing too severe. And the steering wheel, the dash, the shifter, again, all the leather surfaces are quite nice. And we will test out all the functions in the driving video. The rear seats do not want to stay folded up. They've been in this down position, I'm assuming, for many, many years. And so, I'll try to fold them up, but they just don't want to stay there. They'll kind of come back down with the slightest touch. And there is, I think we can lock them into place with this strap, which bolts onto the back of the seat. So theoretically, they could be bolted into place. Actually, it's the first time I'm noticing that, but there's the rear seats. Now let's head to actually we'll hit the engine bay while we make our way around. So engine bay here, where you get to see how this car differs quite substantially from most 911s, most 2.7 911s. Quite a lot of braided metal lines and colored fittings and things that would definitely indicate that there has certainly been something done here, in addition to the hats on top of the carburetors and all that stuff. Obviously, this is a flat 6. We've got 3 spark plugs on each side. Little dirty in here. I'm not sure, why it has gotten so dusty, but actually, it may just be age. We have cleaned it pretty significantly. And as far as corrosion, like there's a tiny, tiny bit here on this brace, as well as like a tiny bit here on that mounting. I don't want to, that's definitely not an engine mount, but some sort of mount point. Otherwise, though, in good shape. The engine case and all that stuff in nice shape. Air-cooled fan, obviously this being an air-cooled. So yeah, nice shape, and it runs quite well once it's up to temp and all that stuff. Coming around to the passenger side, also in nice shape. Carpets look great, door cards look great. I'll just pull up these documents so that I can take a look at the seat and the dash and the shifter. Really everything in the interior looks great. Definitely some signs of use as far as, there's mild discoloration here and there, but again, no rips or tears at all. Really a testament to how well this car's been cared for. Let me know. Why is there? Oh, here it is. It was hiding behind the seatbelt. So rears, same thing. Oh, you'll just have to buckle it. Leather looks good. Again, the carpets have a little bit of staining here and there. But leather looks good in the rear seats. And yeah, so very pleased with the interior condition. Definitely, I don't want to say better than the exterior, because the exterior is not really that bad. Again, the point of these videos is that we really nitpick flaws and just try to get everything and, over-represent the car in many ways. But honestly, it's got a lot of... I love the condition of it because it's got a lot of character, and the patina really presents well. Gives the car a great vibe. So let me just... this. Okay. So the hood struts are failing. I mean, there's a little bit of resistance. Like, it doesn't want to just slam down. But we have not gotten it to stay up all the way. So here is our trusty 2x4. And yeah, so, pretty standard up front. Classic gray carpeting. There are quite a lot of extra parts here. I'm scared this is going to slam on my head. A lot of extra parts here. Okay. So I'll just hold this up manually. Nice things. Belts. What we got here? Cam. CM spin-on filter seal kit. Inner and outer block cap top. Full flow gasket. Okay. Yeah, so lots of, lots of extra parts with the car. Definitely. Let's take a look what's in here. Very cool. And then you've got a 120 watt Blaupunkt sound system as well, which we will test out, and the strut bar. So we'll give this a close here and start her right up. Alrighty, cold start on the 77 Targa. Get the exhaust here. We've got the camera set up so that we get the full exhaust note for the driving video. Here we go. Close that up. So here we are in the Targa. It's not all the way up to temp yet, so we'll take it easy. Road conditions aren't great, so we'll just do a basic drive. Everything in working order. We actually figured out the issue with the starter. There was a wire disconnected, so we got underneath and reconnected that wire. Starts right up now. So I would say that starter, that intermittent starter finickiness, we have actually just remedied, which is great. So yeah, shifts through the gears great. Got a quarter tank. I think this is oil level, reading about half, and then it'll come up as we warm up. Temperature gauge working, pressure gauge working, tachometer working, speedometer working, odometer working, really everything you'd like to see. We'll go into fourth here. Car feels great. Wipers, turn signals, left and right. Lights, we will test inside. Here is fan controls. Don't really know how it works. Okay. Yeah, okay, they are working though. Very good. I'm gonna turn them off because there is a little bit of a pungent aroma. Just a slight pungence. And yeah, but it was blowing really strong, actually. Sounds incredible. Oh, and it feels quite tight. Considering that, yeah, it really hasn't been driven in a while, just needed new shoes and new fluids. So I think I can make this turn ahead of this guy. Very good. Here's the horn. There we go. Just gotta hit it the right way. Turn signal again, and we'll just loop around. Again, hoping that GoPro has stayed on. Very nice. So satisfying to get it up on the revs. Good acceleration, no one ahead of us. Very good, very good. Very healthy feeling. Downshift's great. We're only going 60, 65 there, so it's you don't have to go extremely fast to get a ton of enjoyment out of it. Really just feels incredible. So nice. Long gears too, like third is long. Third is quite long. Go back into third. Love this car. So good. So good. Let's see if we can drop down to second very good braking system. Oh gosh, so good. Oh, Porsche, air-cooled Porsche. Oh, just incredible. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and please bid with confidence. I'm so glad we figured out the starter issue, because that was honestly the one thing holding this car back, other than a couple paint flaws. And yeah, it was just a wire. So bid with confidence. We love this one.